Thank you, and welcome everybody here today. Welcome those online. Nancy, nice to see you live. I had her in a class. I don't know if I had you live or not. And Gary, we may see you in at Niagara Falls here soon for the POC General Conference. But welcome also to those of you who are here in the room. So I'm Andrew Gabriel, and I teach theology here. I'm also the Vice President for Academics. I was thinking about the title or the subtitle, so faculty sharing the heart behind the courses, and I thought, if this was an undergrad, like sharing about college courses, my heart would be, please do your assignments, get them done on time. That would be the heart behind the course. But whereas graduate courses for the seminary, I feel like usually students get those done. Not always on time, but we do have a number of theology courses that I'm not going to talk about that are being offered this year. If you look at the course schedule, you'll see them listed on there. And also, I'll just mention that in addition to the wonderful faculty that you see on the stage here, we do have a number of other faculty who serve with us, and Heather has even mentioned some of them in her presentation today. And so there are additional faculty who serve here at Horizon as adjunct faculty, basically meaning part-time faculty. But I'm going to start by talking about the class I'm teaching this fall, which is the person and work of the Holy Spirit. And so, like, all of our courses probably have textbooks and assignments that you write and papers and that kind of thing, but not just papers. So just as an example, in this class, I have students write a small statement of faith on the Holy Spirit. And also there's an interview assignment where they read a number of different perspectives on something to do with the Holy Spirit, and then I interview them and say, okay, so do you understand what this particular person is saying, and how would you critique them, and then what's your own view on this specific issue? And the reason I mention this is that I was looking at some course evaluations from last year, and this one stood out to me. So I'm quoting here from anonymous student. This person says, the type of assignments increased my feeling of confidence in talking about this with others. Papers don't empower me to feel able to, I'll just correct the grammar. The papers don't empower me to feel able or practiced at dialoguing about theology. But the interview, presentation, and gifts project set me up to have great conversations with others in real life. And so we are trying to think about how do we prepare you not just to be able to read and think and write, but to be able to actually do things in real life, to minister, to dialogue, and to counsel in different ways as well. Now, when it comes to this class, there's a lot that we cover. But one of my primary concerns is that students understand the variety of ways that the Holy Spirit works. So I'm an ordained Pentecostal with the PAOC, and so we're kind of part of that bigger Pentecostal charismatic world. And I know lots of people in that world tend to think of the Holy Spirit only at work when there's miracles, when there's people talking in tongues, or when people are shaken or something like that. There's these kind of spectacular or strange or miraculous, supernatural, however you want to describe it, sort of dramatic things that are happening, and that if we don't see those things, that the Holy Spirit isn't really at work. And then, on the other hand, you have people who will confess that, yes, I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and other things that are in the ancient historic creeds, and I believe in the Holy Spirit, and say nothing more. And that the Holy Spirit is like this hot stove that you don't want to get too close to it and touch it because you might get burned. And so they'll confess that they believe in the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is out there. We believe that there is a Holy Spirit, but other than that, I don't know. And so I will kind of want to, I don't know what the right balance is, but since I'm the prof, I get to determine it. I want to find the right balance here. What does it mean to affirm that the Spirit works in dramatic and miraculous ways, but maybe not in some crazy ways that some of us Pentecostals and charismatics have thought? We need to be discerning. But then on the other side, how do we also recognize that the Spirit works in quiet and mundane ways? Like, I think about the fruit of the Spirit, right? Like, nobody's running around going, oh, I got the fruit of the Spirit today, right? It's something that happens over time through, participating in the spiritual disciplines and worship and being taught and in prayer and fasting and these kinds of things. So I want to recognize that the Spirit's working in all these kinds of ways, including with the gifts of the Spirit. And that the gifts of the Spirit are, have that kind of range of experience too. So, you've got the gift of giving and the gift of encouragement. And not too many people go around going, I am an encourager. I am the gift of encouragement. But others are like, I've got the gift of prophecy. And so you need to listen to me. And so what do we do with this? The last thing I'll say regarding this class, so this is from one of the textbooks from the class, one I wrote. It's called Simply Spirit-Filled. And this is what I wrote in the book. It says, the Holy Spirit is like the wind. In fact, the Hebrew and Greek words for spirit both mean wind. Sometimes the wind blows powerfully like a hurricane, whereas other times it blows gently and we are not conscious of its stirring. Sometimes Christians only look for the Spirit in the storm, in the spectacular, and then in the dramatic. By contrast, others assume the Spirit is only ever a calm breeze. We should not deny that the wind of the Spirit blows both powerfully and gently. So that's a little bit about the Holy Spirit class. There's obviously a lot more to talk about there.